First oil change on SummerWind for me. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get this cap off of here and check out that impeller.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Donna.
We are sailing on SummerWind.
We are a couple that has always had an interest in sailing and have talked about someday retiring on a boat within the Great Lakes.
So with very little experience, we bought SummerWind, a 1994 36-foot Catalina Mark 1.5, and decided to take you along with us to learn the ropes about sailing.
Join us on our adventures throughout the beautiful Great Lakes.
Enjoy the ride, and thank you for watching Sailing on SummerWind.
All right, first oil change on SummerWind for me. So I got the engine cover off. Kind of loving the fact that the engine is so accessible. Get this cover off and you can see everything really, really good. And kind of nice. So really simple, from what I understand. We're going to go through the process, but so this is the drain hose, which you can see down here. It works around down to the bottom of the oil pan here, and the dipstick is right down in there, and the oil cap is on top. And here is the oil filter. So a very simple process, right? Got to drain the oil, got to heat the engine up to its 160 to 190 temperature, and then drain the oil. Now I have a pump. I can put it right down into that hose and pump it out of there. And if I get the pump hose all the way down to here, obviously it'll drain 100% of the oil. And then we replace the filter, fill it up with, it indicates 5 quarts of oil, and 10W40 is what it recommends. And this is a 35 horse universal. So looks like it's in pretty damn good condition. I mean, I know that the previous owner had some work done to it, and looks really good. And the other thing I'm going to try to tackle, they didn't have the impeller, but this is the impeller for the cooling system. And one of the biggest things that I heard is can be a problem is the impeller, the teeth actually wear out on it, and then you don't get good coolant, so running through the engine. So something really simple to change is, from what I understand, there's 3 bolts on it. You can see back here, 1, 2, and then there's another one right back there. And it just, this thing pulls off of here. You just got to make, from what I'm reading in the manual, is you got to make sure you don't move the shaft. There's a little cotter pin or something on the end. I don't know until I get it off of there to see exactly what they mean by that. Something that holds the impeller on, and then you should be able to just slide it right off the shaft and put a new one in. I don't know how long this one's been on there, but I was told that they last about 2 to 3 years. So I have good water flow right now. I'm not really too concerned about it, but I would like to change it because, you know, the boat's new to me. I don't know when it's been changed, and we'll go from there. But so I'm going to get into this oil change, start the engine up, heat up the oil, and extract the oil, and then I'll let you know how it goes. So they went pretty easy. As you can see here, the oil, I use these Welch's juice containers to get the old oil. You can see it's kind of dark. This was really simple for me because I have this drain hose right here, and it goes, like I said, down to the bottom of the pan. So once I heated the oil up, I was able just to connect this pump right to here, then use this hose to drain it into the fruit containers. So so it was really simple, right? Some people, though, they have to have a connector here that goes into that hose or into the dipstick there, and goes down into the pan, and then they pump it out. But being that this boat already has this hose on here, it's real easy to just kind of extract the oil, and it's extracting it from the very bottom too, which is a bonus. So that went pretty well. I'm going to try to take this filter off. It seems to be on there kind of tight right now. Once I get that off, put the new filter on, put the new oil in, and we'll go from there. Okay, so another use for a fruit juice container. I cut that off and kind of set it underneath the flange of the filter there, and because whenever you take the filter off, you're going to get remnants of oil, as you can see down in there, that's still in the filter, right? So yeah, I just started to unscrew it, put this little container underneath there, drop the filter down into it, and now it's time for the new filter. And you just basically put some oil around the gasket here, put it on. It says to turn it once the gasket is on this flange right here. It says to turn it 3/4 of a turn, and that's all you need. So that's what we're gonna do. So next general maintenance we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get this cap off of here and check out that impeller. I did purchase one, so hopefully it's the right one. I have the part number, and they cross-referenced it. That part number doesn't exist anymore, blah blah blah. And so I'm gonna pull this guy off, see if I can see if what that impeller looks like. I mean, it might be good. If it is good, I'll pull it off and it'll be my spare. So and put the new one on, just so that I have peace of mind knowing that it was changed in 2021. And then, so to do that, it says to basically shut off your seacock that allows seawater to come into the pump, right? Which makes sense. You don't want water coming in. And that is back here. I'll show you. And like I said, I'm pretty happy with the accessibility of the engine. So there's the transmission there. Here's the inlet. It's got a little filter on it, and as you can see right there, that seacock, I just closed it, so that's in the closed position. And now we're gonna attempt to take that plate off and see what we got. Okay, so changing out my impeller. I did it once before, just recently, and I'm not going to even show that footage because I did it wrong. I had this gasket on the other side of this plate that goes on here. So this gasket seals this plate between this base right here, and then there is a O-ring here, as you can see, O-ring here. And then obviously the impeller is, I had it on there already, so I just left it in there. But that goes on the shaft right here. You can see right here, there's a little feeder, square thing here to kind of holds it in place and actually allows it to spin. This plate right here holds it in place. And that's it basically. What I did before is I put automotive sealer around here. I think it was a mistake as well, and so I'm going back through and doing it by the book, and we'll see what happens. As you saw in the Black River footage, we had a little bit of a drip coming down right here, and it was dripping here and then puddling up over here. And it was just a nuisance, and the impeller was working fine. It just created a little bit of a water problem, and it wasn't real bad. We had to soak it up with a few towels, but But it was a long trip too, so, but I'm trying to remedy the situation right now, and hopefully this will work.
Unfortunately,
All right, so
is it fixed?
I think the moral of the story is do it by the book. Don't mess around with the sealants and what other people say, and you know. Just to recap, the first time I did it, I had the gasket on the wrong side of that plate, like I mentioned, which was a problem. And then when I took it all apart to put it back together in the Black River, I think I damaged the gasket as well. And I also stripped out a screw. So it doesn't need a huge torque. Don't torque on it like crazy. You get a leak and you think, oh, I got to put a ton of pressure on it. More than likely, you did something wrong with the gasket, and or the O-ring. And so I went back to the drawing board. When I got back here, I actually put an automotive sealant around it to try to help it seal. And I went to the marine store, and they told me that was probably not a good idea. So I bought a new gasket, cleaned up the O-ring, cleaned up the plates, got them, I used a really fine grit sandpaper and just sanded everything down, made it nice and smooth, and put it all back together, and voila, we're no more leak. We'll see how it goes, through time, but I think for the most part it'll be pretty good. It's got lock nuts on the screws, so it shouldn't loosen up, and I think we're good.